What have you learned from your audience feedback? Julian McDougall 2009 says that it is hard to define an audience in the online age. I agree with this because the impact of the online age has meant that it is harder to define a specific subculture, Dick Hebdige 1979, because audiences are always changing the way they want to consume products due to technological convergence. PJ Fury 2004. For our A2 coursework, we made a promotional package which consists of a music video and ancillary products such as digipacks, posters to promote the digipacks, and websites. We made these products for a local indie band called The Rattels, and we targeted an audience of 16 to 24-year-old ABC1s whose subculture was indie and indie pop, Dick Hebdige, as we wanted to target both males and females, but mainly females because they will see our characters as ideal selves partners. Carl Rogers 1980. Our audience was niche alternative audience because it reflects our genre of music, indie, which is quite niche, but we also targeted the indie pop subgenre, which allowed us to target a larger audience. To ensure that we are targeting our audience correctly, we researched into the genre on social networks by looking at our peers consume and how we looked at existing media products such as Arctic Monkeys' AM album and Gwen Stefani's Cool music video.
We looked at these existing products because although Gwen Stefani's Cool music video isn't indie, we could still use codes and conventions from it to target the indie pop subgenre. From this research, we created an imaginary entity, Yen Ang 1991, who was a 19-year-old male who was at university studying music technology and played in an indie band called The Automatics in his free time. He also worked at HMV and loved shopping at Starbucks and Urban Outfitters to buy his black skinny jeans. We chose these subcultural capitals, Sarah Thorne said in 1995, because they are stereotypical of the indie genre, and we also included them in our media pitch to see if our audience could relate to them. Arguably, we didn't show them to the right audience because we did our media pitch to our class, and they were not our target audience or genre, so the feedback from them could have been biased.
Clark et al. 2007 says that it is important to get regular audience feedback. We got audience feedback when we did our media pitch, and we sent a questionnaire to our classmates by using the website SurveyMonkey because it reflects that our target audience are digital natives. And we asked qualitative and quantitative questions because we had learned from our AS coursework that we had to ask detailed questions so that we could get more precise feedback. An example of qualitative question that we asked was, are there any improvements or suggestions to improve our music video? And some answers we got were, to make sure the video isn't too dark and the lighting. From this we concentrated on making sure that it was easy for our target audience to see the images on screen and to not make the lighting effects too low key. We didn't ask any quantitative questions in our questionnaire, which we should have done to see what score people would have rated our ideas, but instead we asked more qualitative questions so that we got more precise answers, so the lack of quantitative questions doesn't matter. Some more regular audience feedback that we got was from the actual band that we made our music video for, The Rattels. They said that it was really good, and one of the band members even shared it onto her Twitter account at Ben Stubbs. This allowed us to get real feedback from the band's actual fans. Some feedback was that the live footage is awesome, better than the original, and haha, I love the ending, the editing is wicked. This feedback was really helpful, and it wasn't biased because it was their actual target audience, and Synergy has allowed us to gain more feedback on different platforms, but it has also allowed us to create a synergy for the band to help them reach a larger target audience and to promote them for free. We also put the music video onto all of our Facebook pages, which got an audience feedback from our friends and families, so the feedback was biased, but it was still feedback. Some feedback was said that it's very good and fantastic, well done, and although this is good because we are getting regular audience feedback, the people were targeted by sharing the music video on Facebook were not in our target audience or subculture. A great way to get good audience feedback was to make a focus group. We should have made a focus group with people from our subculture to get our music video to, but we didn't, so this could have impacted our final music video by it not reflecting the target audience. We did show the music video to some of our friends, but again, this feedback was invalid because it was biased.
But by doing all this primary research, it has allowed us to make changes in our music video when something didn't fit in with our genre of music, or if something didn't reflect our subculture, and by sharing it on social networks, Web2 or O'Reilly, it has allowed us to get audience feedback from our actual target audience. Some important feedback that we got was from our tutor because it was professional and constructive, but our tutor wasn't our target audience or subculture. But this doesn't matter because it is still constructive feedback. We also distributed our music video onto YouTube and we got 300 views within the first 14 hours of it being published. This connotes the craftsman Richard Sennett 2008 because we got satisfaction from making the product.
Daniel Chandler talks about demand push and how technologies are forced upon a society. Technologies have affected our audience feedback in a good way because it has allowed us to target our audience via social networking, which gives us more precise feedback because we are targeting 16 to 24-year-old digital natives. John Hartley, 1987, says that we need to speak to our audience. In our products, we have talked to our audience by using actors who were from the same age range as our target audience to make it more relatable. This allowed our audience to look up to our characters and ideal self/partner, Carl Rogers 1980, and we made our male antagonist into a star persona, Richard Dyer, by using high-key lighting and subcultural capitals, Sarah Thornton 1995, such as black skinny jeans. Some feedback that we had from our teacher was that the gig footage was too blurred and the narrative scenes of our characters were in the house. The house looked too much like the parents' house and not a student house, so it didn't relate to our target audience. But this doesn't matter because we were trying to portray the message that the female protagonist was still really young and living with her parents.
We also made a digipack for the band The Retells, but we didn't get audience feedback on them. We didn't get audience feedback on them because we thought that they were the only needed feedback on them on the music video because it would be distributed online, whereas our digipack would be distributed in shops and bought on hard copies. This is a problem because we should have got audience feedback on our digipacks to see if our target audience would like them and to see if the design, photos and codes and conventions would be relatable to our subculture, Dig.
3 of us in our group also made a promotional poster for the band's digipack and then the other one made a website for the band. Again, we didn't get audience feedback on these products when we should have. If we were to make these products again, we would get audience feedback on all products because then we could see if these relate to our genre and subculture. We should distribute them on the same platforms that we distributed our music video on, such as social networks, Web2 applications, O'Reilly, because then our target audience of digital natives would be able to consume them on the same platforms as the music video. This connotes convergence culture, Henry Jenkins 2008, because our target audience are expecting to be able to consume our products on many platforms and to consume them everywhere and anywhere when they want to.
Although we didn't get feedback on our digipacks, we still changed some codes and conventions on them to match existing products that we researched. For example, we changed the track list to reflect the songs that the band plays and so that it relates to the genre of music, and we also changed the fonts that we used to create synergy with the band's logo so that it created a house style. Also, on all of our digipacks, posters and websites, we all decided to use a triangle shape, which we took from their logo, to create a band for the band, and this created synergy between all of our products to create a package.